Have you ever been torn down by the very person you trusted to stand by you no matter what? Because that's exactly what I faced one night at a family dinner. And let me tell you, it wasn't just embarrassing. It was one of those moments that twists your stomach, makes your blood run hot, and leaves your heart pounding because you can't believe someone you love would treat you that way. But here's the part she didn't expect. What she thought would break me ended up turning right back on her. That night, I regained control in a way that left everyone at the table speechless, and she never saw it coming. The evening started like any other family gathering. My parents had called my brothers, sisters, and their spouses, and the table was loaded with food that smelled of comfort and tradition. My mom had made her famous roast, the kind of meal that filled the whole house with warmth. Walking in with my wife at my side should have felt like a proud moment. At least, that's what I thought. We'd been married for a few years, and even though we had our arguments, I never imagined she'd use this moment, in front of the people who raised me, to tear me down. The signs started early. As we sat, she leaned close and whispered, "Try not to embarrass yourself tonight." I brushed it off as a joke, but the edge in her voice stuck with me. At first, the table was full of laughter, childhood stories, and clinking glasses. But then, when my dad asked about my new work project, she cut in before I could even open my mouth. "Oh, you mean his little side hobby," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. People chuckled politely. My face burned. It wasn't just the words, it was the smug tone, as if I were playing pretend. I tried steering the talk elsewhere, but she wouldn't stop. Every time I shared something, she twisted it. When I mentioned a small win at work, she laughed and said, "Yeah, you should see how stressed he gets just writing an email." If I said I'd fixed something at home, she jumped in, "Actually, I had to call the plumber after his fix made it worse." The laughter wasn't cruel, but it still cut deep. To my family, it looked playful. But I knew better. It wasn't teasing, it was tearing me down. I sat there forcing a smile, my hand gripping the fork until my knuckles went white. And then came the breaking point. My brother shared a funny memory of me as a kid. Before I could laugh, my wife chimed in, "Honestly, he hasn't changed much. Still that clueless boy. Just ask him about the time he forgot to pay our bills for 2 months." She laughed like it was the joke of the night. The room went silent, every eye on me. I felt stripped of my dignity. I excused myself, headed to the kitchen, and leaned against the counter, breathing hard. A part of me wanted to lash out, to storm out, to put her in her place. But another part, the colder, calmer part, told me to wait. Because if I exploded, I'd only prove her point. To win back control, I had to do it smart, not angry. That's when an idea hit me. I walked back with a steady smile. I let her think she'd won, even allowed her a few more jabs. But when dessert was served, I set my spoon down, cleared my throat, and said, "You know, I really need to thank my wife tonight." She looked stunned, clearly not expecting gratitude. She's shown me something important. Every time I share something about myself, she turns it into a joke. And I realized, that says more about her than it does about me. The room froze. My tone was calm, steady, deliberate. Because I work hard every day, and I'm proud of what I do. I may not be perfect, but I'm building something for us, for our future. If she can't see that, then maybe she doesn't want to. But one thing's certain, if anyone here doubts my worth, my actions will speak louder than any punchline. I looked straight at her, holding her eyes. For the first time all night, she had no comeback. Her smile faded, her confidence shrank. My family, who had laughed before, now nodded quietly, their expressions shifting. My mom reached across and squeezed my hand. My dad gave me a look I rarely saw, approval. In that moment, I wasn't the one humiliated anymore. She was. The night carried on, but the mood had changed. She barely touched her dessert, and my siblings tried to lighten things, but everyone knew the balance had shifted. I had taken back control, not by shouting or storming out, but by standing tall and reminding everyone, including her, who I was. Later at home, she tried to excuse it. "I was just joking. You're too sensitive," she said. But I didn't let her twist it. "No," I told her. "A joke is when both people laugh. What you did was disrespect." She had no answer. That night, I learned something powerful. Sometimes the strongest revenge isn't anger, it's composure. It's showing you won't bend when someone tries to cut you down. And she never tried to humiliate me in front of my family again. Because once you prove you won't play the fool, people stop treating you like one. So if you've ever felt humiliated, remember this: it's not about the insult they throw. It's about how you respond. And sometimes, the quietest response makes the loudest statement of all.